Hey everybody, God bless you. My name is Tamara Dyer, and I know we're supposed to create a blog about just talking about a moment that we feel we failed and what we've learned from that moment of failure. Just not too long ago in July, I was working in a position that I really enjoyed, and one Friday afternoon, they called us into a meeting and we got laid off. The company decided to just lay off the department because it was too much money to really move us as far as technically. It was more expensive to create and buy the things that they needed for the growth, the rapid growth that the company was experiencing. So they laid us off, and I was really worried and just going through a difficult time with understanding what God was doing at that time. And I had just started school. We just opened a new church, and it was just a lot going on. And I really didn't understand what God was doing, how I was going to pay for the bills and just everything that was going on. I really needed to be in a place of employment, making money that was coming in. My husband works for a woman that we love very dearly. She's a mentor of ours. We met her when we first moved here to North Carolina. And not only is she, a partner in ministry, but she's a mentor, and she owns a barber and cosmetology university. And I went to visit my husband one day for lunch. I was laid off, and I, said, hey, let me go meet him for lunch. And I ended up talking to her, and she offered me a position working in her administrative office, doing admissions and various other things. I was kind of going to do a little bit of everything. And she was offering me the same amount of pay, but no benefits. And, I told her that I would get back to her, that I was going to pray. And I came home and I prayed, and I prayed for a couple of days, but I really didn't stop and really listen to what God was saying. And I was so worried about just not having money to pay rent and not having money to do the things that I needed and not having medical coverage. And I made a decision on that emotion versus really being still and knowing that God is God. I told her that I would take the position, and maybe a couple of weeks went by, and I quickly knew I had made the wrong decision. Now I made the wrong decision. I feel like I just failed because I didn't really hear God clearly. And ironically, we were going through the first couple of chapters where it talks about just how important it is to really hear God for where you're going to be working, and how God uses your place of employment as a tool to just, spread the gospel and just be a good example and for personal growth and growth for others. And I had made a decision to start looking for another position, but I really didn't talk to my supervisor about it. And we kind of had a situation, something that went on at work, and ended up just coming out and saying to her that I was, looking for another position. And it was really tough because she was expecting for me to be there longer, but I really needed something that had benefits. And I just really knew at that moment, like, I made a decision on the emotion of worry versus being really still and understanding that I need, to really rest on God's peace. It's like the verse in Philippians 4, chapter 4 of Philippians, verse 6 and 7, where it says not to worry, and just really present everything to God in prayer, and his peace will come, and we'll have his peace and live in Christ Jesus. And so I learned from that situation to really hear God and act when he speaks versus acting on the emotion of what I yet haven't even experienced. I was so worried, and not even 2 weeks had gone by, and I'm like, I don't want to go through unemployment, and I don't want to do all of these things, and what's going to happen, and the rent, and so worried versus just being really still and resting on God's peace. So I just learned that it's really important to in every decision that we make, just really be still and not only go to God in prayer, but listen to what he's saying, especially when it comes to our professional career. I have always had a really steady job, never really went through a situation where I had to make a decision because I got laid off. It was the first time I ever got laid off. So it really, it was a lesson for me to be still in any situation and know that God is God and he got my back. I hope everybody enjoyed their Thanksgiving, and thank you so much. Have a good night.